Hi everybody, here's Krystian from Teamworkcast.
And I'm Putty.
And this is Netrunner with Teamworkcast. This is a private System Crash tournament, draft tournament, on the 1st of February 2015. And on the left we have Falko, on the right we have Frank. And this is the last round, last game. Everything is going to be peachy now.
Man, your aspect ratio, or your camera has gone insane.
That's because we're watching the raw footage right now, not what our viewers will see afterwards.
Oh.
Nick.
I'm sorry that your immersion as a viewer has been compromised.
It has been compromised. Anyway, so we saw some spectacular game between the two on the first game of this round. So let's see if the second round is going to be equally amazing. And there's going to be the game is about to begin. The game is about Frank gets out his cards. Install. And install. We see 3 installs in front of HQ and R&D, and in the remote server, Frank is about to run on R&D.
Frank's gonna bust this thing wide open.
And it's a Victor 1.0. Frank can just click through. No problem, Frank. You know what it is. Yeah, he clicks through. And we see a card, and it scores! Hey!
Hey!
Cologne retirement, and I think Falko gets a bad pub for this. Not cool. Already opening up the blackmail play later on.
I just want Frank to run as aggressively as Falko did.
I hope so, but that's not Frank. Frank is a more he's more of a steady pressure kind of player. He does exert pressure on HQ, so let's see if Falko can rest this. He can. IRSS.
Wow.
Okay, cool. Nothing happens right now. IRSS is a very rare card that basically landed in a binder for most people immediately. The runner loses as many credits as there is bad pub. But you know, he gets as many credits at the beginning of the run anyway because of bad pub, so it kind of cancels bad pub basically for the remainder of the run.
You know, the one thing I like about this video is that I've seen the top of Falco's shirt, and now it makes way more sense.
Yeah, don't grow up, it's a trap.
Yep.
Anyway, Falco arrested the pet campaign there in the server, so we know that it's a pet campaign now. And this is, of course, a problem for... Oh, there we go! Yog! Not the only person who has the Yog. Oh, runs again! Wow! Oh god! Runs twice, scores 4 points worth of agendas. Ooh! Just walks through the Victor now with the Yog. Oh man! And Falco's like, yeah, that happens. That's something that happens.
You got 4 points? I had 4 brain damage and still won last time.
Just keep installing cards in front of HQ and keep getting credits. All right, and then there is run on R&D, and there is a Marcus. Marcus 1.0, rather new ice. That is basically similar to Ichi, people say. 2 subroutines. One is run a trash the card, and the other is end the run, and it's clickable because of the Bioroid. So Frank, of course, clicks through and sees a card, and it's over. Frank actually wasn't familiar with the card, so you see that Frank is a good player, but he doesn't play. You know, he's not on a bleeding edge of the meta like you are, Nick.
I don't know. No. Don't you talk about me that way.
You should read Yaro's. Oh, you can't. I guess it's in German, because Yaro, the basically your German counterpart, played a recent Search Championship, and he wrote like a report from the Search Championship how it feels like to play on the last table all tournament long. And he had a time of his life there.
Yeah.
Anyway, Frank installs Parasite on the Marcus, But Falco's like, whatever, I'm just gonna keep erasing R&D.
Hey, when I play in tournaments, I place in the middle. I'll let you know.
Ooh, so this is an interesting card. Let's see if we can figure out what it is.
Oh.
So
I like your background.
This is a spike. This is a spike. It's basically a shiv for subroutines, for barriers. And there's another Marcus there. So Frank clicks away the damage subroutine and ends the run. So what we see there, that's again. Wait a minute. That's a spike, and it has strength 0. It gains as much strength as there's other breakers installed. So now it's strength 2, and you can trash it to break 3 barrier subroutines. New card that hasn't been released yet. I wonder if these will catch on somehow, because I'm still not sure. I mean, it's kind of like Bad Fairy.
Yeah. But I mean, Fairy is still obnoxiously popular.
Oh, Fairy is great, but these are like very limited because you have to install other breakers for them to make them work. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe if you have a lot of them, but even then, like Fairy's for free, but this costs money. There's just and it doesn't break all the subroutines, just 3.
It's one of those cards where you sit there and you're like, it could work, but
Maybe there's something I'm missing. Maybe there's just a key strategy, key deck where it just shines. A run on HQ. There is a chum. Oh man. So now the IRSS gets stronger, and if it doesn't get broken, then Frank gets a lot of net damage. Frank decides to jack out and gets Mr. Lee out. I really like Chum here. Chum is really nice here. I think Chum is perhaps even better than Marker for a draft. Because it basically also ends subroutines. Right, Nick?
it does.
Oh, it doesn't, not the subroutines, it ends runs. But not through subroutines, but through runners not wanting to get the damage.
Right.
Alright, let's see about that. Mr. D has been used. Frank saw the 2 top cards and put one of the cards on the bottom of his deck. The ability of Mr. Lee. Meanwhile, Falko reses up the archives of all things and reses up HQ. I guess Falco's strategy is to win through superiority of ice.
He's creating a glacier.
And we see a parasite.
What? No IRS! Oh no!
A wild IRS. Oh, I guess that's cool because if IRS gets trashed, then the chump won't do anything. So he can basically disable 2 ice with the price of 1.
Falco so mad he leaves the table.
Yeah. A mandatory draw by Falco.
I'm gonna tell you a secret.
Power shutdown for 1.
Every time Falco plays, the only song in my head is Rock Me Amadeus.
Rock me out. Okay. Okay, I think Falco would appreciate that.
Performed by Falco.
Oh, yeah. So, power shutdown, Falco trashed 1 card, and the spike that was trashed. Because Frank has to trash a card with a cost equal to an amount of cards that has been trashed. R&D interface, yay! So there's going to be an assault on R&D at some point in Frank's play, I guess. You know what amazes me?
What amazes you?
Oh, there's a run on the remote server. That is the root. Again, Frank hasn't encountered this too often, so they have to look this up. But yeah, it's not a card that's played often, even though it's amazing. It's the root, man.
It is amazing. I was trying to play it yesterday, and I ended up taking it out of a deck because it's so expensive. If it cost 4, it would be amazing. But you have 6.
You get 3 recurrent credits for a lot of things.
Yeah.
For advancing eyes, for installing eyes, for resing eyes. So that's really nice.
It just costs so much.
And the ISS got trashed to the parasite. What I wanted to say is like those chairs that we see here. They look like sausages.
Yeah. This whole time I've been like, man.
And Falco would just throws in hostile takeover here gets 5 credits and another bad pup.
Yeah. I'm gonna go to the sausage place down the street.
Well, you can tell that this is a German household. Even the chairs look like sausages.
Are we experiencing Germany?
Yeah, this is Germany. This is what Germany looks like. Everything is just sausages.
That's good to know. So all the cars on Autobahn are just the Oscar Mayer Wienermobile?
Yeah, basically, I mean,
But with spoilers.
the ICE train is basically modeled after a sausage. The aerodynamics of a sausage. Little known fact, the dachshund is the most aerodynamic animal.
It's true.
Anyway, first click, run on that R&D here. Oh man, then there is the Inazuma that we've been waiting for. This is going to be painful now. So it's a 5-strength code gate, cannot be broken by Frank's Yogg now. So the next ice, which is the Marcus, cannot be broken even by using clicks. And Frank also cannot jack out. So now there's 2 subroutines of Marcus Fire, and one of them is Frank has to trash one of his installed cards. One of his installed cards.
A beer is at the bottom of the table.
Yeah, I don't think our listeners will see that. I will crop this out. But yes, there's indeed a beer appearing on the table.
I wish that I watched all of the games like this. There's so many neat things that happen around the table.
But if we can't comment on this, our listeners won't see. Anyway, so yeah, Frank trashed Mr. Lee, and then he installs immediately a parasite on the Inazuma. Little known fact, Frank drafted like 3 parasites or 4 or so. So yeah, we're gonna see.
Insane.
He was a bit lucky here. But of course, trashing in Inazuma with a parasite is going to take some time. Meanwhile, Falko scores out the clone retirement, so there's 1 bad publicity less for him.
Yay.
Yay. But you know, Frank is just needs 1 more agenda and he wins the game, right?
Yeah, I know, but in the last game, Falco just needed 1 more brain damage.
Yeah. No, 2 more.
2 more brain damage to kill
At 5 brain damage, you're still alive. You just can't retain any cards anymore.
That's true.
You don't have any brain to remember anything.
But yeah, Falco is like the epitome of don't panic.
Yeah. Or maybe he just you know runs with everything. He just like whatever. I'm just gonna do everything.
Yeah, it's not over till it's over.
Yeah.
Brain damage is a resource that I can expend at will.
Yeah. As long as I'm not dead, brain damage doesn't matter.
Yeah.
All right, we see a run on. Oh, interesting. Now we see a run on RD because now he can break the Inazuma with a Yogg. It's the strength has been lowered enough, so he has access to 2 cards, but there's nothing of importance there. Man, 2 cards. This could have been over right now.
Yeah.
This couldn't be love, but it's over now.
Rock me, Amadeus.
Man, that pet campaign is doing God's work.
Oh man.
Man. Oh, Inazuma being trashed. Inazuma being trashed and the Victor being trashed. Falco expects the Yogg to hang around for a while now, so he installs something else instead, saving some monies by trashing the useless ice. Frank thinks what to do now. Difficult. He's so far away and yet so close.
I know.
Or other way around. Anyway, he just needs 1 more agenda. There's got to be an agenda point somewhere. Knight is good. Knight will help.
You know.
No, he thinks otherwise. He thinks about this.
Knight is good. I don't know why he wouldn't. I mean, I guess he doesn't know what the ice is that is there. Could be a pop-up window.
He doesn't have too much money, right?
Although I can't tell what he has.
Yeah, those horrible tokens, man.
Damn you, minion games.
And this sentry now. This is a new breaker called Chameleon, which is in the starter pack. When you install it, you can choose a type, and it becomes the breaker of that type. So now it's a sentry breaker. No res, run on HQ, but it is nothing.
Wow.
At the end of the turn, the Chameleon gets back on his hand. So it's basically it's really fun breaker. It's a bit expensive because it costs 2 credits and you have to install it every turn.
Yeah.
It's basically the chimera of breakers.
And R&D iced back up.
But it's great to plug a hole, you know, and also now Frank kind of knows that this is probably a sentry in front of the Marcus.
Yeah.
And there is a private contract being raised by Falko. And then he gets the money from the private contracts. And Frank gets a money. And gets a card. And does nothing else. Falko is not very... He's not rushing into creating scoring servers.
Oh! You spoke of the devil. It seems that's what he's just done.
He created a scoring server, remote server there on the bottom of the screen. Let's see if... Because this is outside of what you usually show on the camera. Maybe I'm actually standing right next to Falko and I'm urging Falko to move his cards closer together. And Falko is nice enough to oblige me.
Oh, what a nice man!
Yeah. All right. So now we see the knight. Knight can break any type of ice, but it has to be hosted on that ice first with a click. Another score. Another hostile takeover, I think. Yes, it is hostile takeover. So Falko gets even more credits and more bad pub. At 2 bad pub currently, and at a buttload of credits.
I can feel Frank sweating.
Yeah, Frank is thinking about this. Like, what to do now? Like, ugh. Like, he doesn't really seem to have a grip on Falco servers.
Yeah.
Lots of unrest ice. Falco has lots of money to rest all that stuff, and he has lots of economy cards going on. Ugh. Oh man, oh man. There's currently 4 cards on R&D right now.
And what, he's got... Falco has 4 points?
3 points.
3 points,
So, every turn, it needs to be a score now.
Yeah.
At least 1 agenda point every turn. And then one turn he can allow himself to do nothing. Man, Frank... And Falco's just laughing about this. He's just having a grand old time. Alright, we see HQ interface is good. But Falco doesn't have the money to break anything. He really doesn't have any economy. But he rehosts the knight on there and he just runs. He just gets 2 credits and runs. Oh, and there is the Fenris. No, that's not a Fenris. That's a...
I didn't see the picture.
I know what it is. It is a sensei. Sensei has noticed me.
Oh my god!
Oh my! He saw 2 of 4 cards on R&D, and both cards were the non-agenda cards. There were two agenda cards on HQ, and he saw every card except the agendas right now.
I don't think that I don't think Falco can win. Is he gonna get decked? He just drew 2 cards. What is he doing?
Yeah, he needs an ice. Otherwise, he will lose the next turn anyway, right?
Yeah.
But now he says like it's over now. He says there is one option still left. And Frank goes like, whatever, I'm just gonna take 4 money. I'm not into your shenanigans. And so the Falco runs out of cards. Handshake. Milled in a He could have scored 1 agenda more, but he couldn't have won there.
Yeah, that would have been... Yeah. Wow.
Excellent.
That was 2 fantastic games.
Excellent. Yes, so a really tremendous, amazing finale for this tournament. And again, if you have the opportunity to do a draft, you should definitely do it. Especially the most recent draft pack has gotten really well balanced. I think it may be a little bit on the side of runners, especially if we're looking from our statistics. But I think this is just a matter of like learning the draft set, understanding what cards do and what kind of strategy to apply when drafting those cards. some really amazing situations that can occur because it's so much focus on bad pub and tags. So yeah, this is a lot of fun, as you can tell.
Well, that's fantastic. I want to go and buy a bunch of draft packs now. See if I can get some people together.
Yeah, you should. It's really amazing. All right, we will wrap this up, Nick. We'll wrap this up.
We should wrap this up.
We should wrap this up. This was been a tremendous fun, and let's see what kind of tournament we will show next. Until then.
The planet is hacked, and we're going to bed.
Hack the planet! Hack the planet!
Shut up and get in the car!
Thoroughly hacked.
Shit on me.